The Kethmoran arena fell silent as the massive creature emerged from the shadows beneath the platform, standing 12 feet tall on powerful hind legs. The Vorthak's midnight black scales gleamed under the harsh arena lights. Its 6 eyes, each the size of a dinner plate, swept across the assembled crowd of various alien species. Razor-sharp claws scraped against the metal flooring, and its serpentine tail, thick as a tree trunk, lashed behind it with barely contained fury. Ambassador Zixathala of the Etherian Council stepped forward, her translucent blue form shimmering with nervous energy. "Honored beings," she announced through the universal translator. "For 3 standard cycles, the Vorthak has rejected every potential rider. 27 of our finest warriors from across the galaxy have attempted to mount this creature. All have failed." In the viewing gallery, representatives from dozens of civilizations murmured among themselves. The riding of a Vorthak was more than ceremony. It was the ultimate test of worthiness to join the Galactic Defense Coalition. Only those who could master these ancient predators were considered capable of leading interstellar fleets against the encroaching void swarm. Captain Sarah, Chen of the Terran colonial fleet, sat quietly in the corner, her small frame dwarfed by the towering Zentorians beside her. At barely 5 feet tall and weighing less than most alien children, she seemed an unlikely candidate for this trial. Her brown hair was pulled back in a simple ponytail, and her uniform bore only the modest insignia of a frontier patrol captain. "The human wishes to attempt the trial," announced Zixathala, unable to hide the skepticism in her voice. "Though we must note that her species lacks the traditional qualifications. No psychic abilities, no natural armor, no enhanced physical strength." A ripple of what might charitably be called polite interest passed through the crowd. The Krillian warchief's forearms crossed in apparent amusement. The Draconian prince's scaled lips curled into something resembling a smirk. Even the usually diplomatic Centaurian delegate's compound eyes reflected doubt. Sarah stood and made her way to the arena floor. The whispers followed her. "Humans are so fragile. Did you see how that one died when the atmospheric pressure changed by mere fractions? They live such short lives. What could they possibly understand about bonding with an ancient being?" The Vorthak turned its attention to the approaching figure, its massive head lowered, bringing those 6 terrible eyes level with Sarah's face. Each eye was a swirling galaxy of colors, purple, gold, and silver that seemed to shift and dance. The creature's breath, hot enough to melt lesser metals, washed over her. Sarah didn't flinch. She didn't step back. She simply looked into those ancient eyes and saw something that others had missed. Pain. Centuries of it. The Vorthak had been captured as a hatchling, torn from its home world when its entire species was enslaved by the Coalition's predecessors. It had watched its kind forced into servitude, had seen the strongest of its people broken and ridden like beasts of burden. Every rider who had approached carried the weight of that legacy, the assumption that the creature existed to be conquered. Sarah reached into her pack and pulled out something that caused gasps throughout the arena. It wasn't a weapon or a control device. It was a simple photograph printed on Earth paper, a picture of her own horse, Thunder, running free across the Montana plains. "I know what it's like to lose everything," she said quietly, knowing the Vorthak's enhanced senses could pick up her words despite the arena's size. "My world was attacked too. My family didn't make it out." The creature's eyes focused on the photograph, then on Sarah's face. For the first time in decades, it stopped moving entirely. "I'm not here to ride you," Sarah continued, taking another step closer. "I'm here to ask if you'd like a partner." The Vorthak's head tilted, a gesture so subtle that most of the watching aliens missed it entirely. But Sarah saw the intelligence behind those eyes. Not the cunning of a beast, but the wisdom of a being who had lived for centuries. "The void swarm is coming," Sarah said. "They'll destroy everything in their path, just like what happened to both our worlds. But maybe we don't have to let them win." She sat down on the arena floor, cross-legged, the photograph still visible in her hands. "I won't try to break you. I won't try to control you. But if you're willing, we could choose to fight together." The arena held its breath. For long minutes, nothing happened. Then slowly, majestically, the Vorthak lowered itself to the ground. Its massive form settled beside Sarah, not beneath her, but next to her. Equal to equal. The creature's great head came to rest near Sarah's shoulder, and for the first time in anyone's memory, it made a sound that wasn't a roar or a snarl. It was something softer, deeper, a harmonious rumble that seemed to vibrate through the very bones of the arena. Ambassador Zixthala's form flickered with shock. Impossible. The neural patterns, they're not showing dominance and submission. They're showing partnership? Sarah smiled, reaching up to gently touch the Vorthak's scaled snout. The creature's eyes closed and that deep rumble continued. Contentment, perhaps, or hope. Sometimes, Sarah said loud enough for the entire arena to hear, the strongest bond isn't forged through conquest. Sometimes it's built on understanding. When she stood, the Vorthak rose with her, moving in perfect synchronization. Without saddle or bridle, without weapons or control devices, Sarah placed her hand on the creature's neck and swung herself up. The Vorthak didn't buck or resist. Instead, it spread its massive wings, muscles bunching with anticipation. As they took flight together, circling the arena in a display of impossible grace, the watching aliens finally understood why humans had survived every catastrophe their dangerous little world had thrown at them. It wasn't because they were the strongest or the fastest or the most intelligent. It was because they had learned, somewhere in their violent evolutionary history, that sometimes the best way to win wasn't to conquer. Sometimes it was simply to choose not to be alone. The Vorthak's roar echoed through the arena, not of rage but of joy. And for the first time in 3 standard cycles, the ancient creature had found what it had been searching for all along. Not a master, a friend,